Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to talk about Suzanne Morphew, and basically Barry, the husband, has actually came out and said something for basically the first time ever. His last interview or plea was him, asking for whoever had her to bring her home, and it lasted 25 seconds. This one was a 30-minute phone conversation. But what's crazy to me is he didn't allow it to be recorded. He didn't allow it to be on videos. So I just thought that was a little bit strange. But then again, people do things in certain circumstances. I know people have really been coming at him and speculating a lot with him, but I have to be honest with you, I'm really troubled with this case because I don't know if in my gut tells me I don't think he had anything to do with it, but I know everybody has their own opinions, and of course I want to hear you guys. I want to hear what you think down below. But the reason what really struck out to me, and I don't know if anybody's heard of this documentary, and if you're really into researching this case, I highly recommend you, if you have Amazon Prime, searching Missing 411. It's a documentary and it's really crazy. It's a little bit out there, but it's about this guy who pieces things together, and people have gone missing in woods. And by going missing, I mean like their cars have gone missing, everything just left without a trace. And not to give away the documentary, but it's speculated that it's aliens possibly, and alien abductions, and there's really strong evidence in this documentary that shows that it's probably aliens. And I know it sounds really far-fetched and really out there, but people really do vanish, and it blows my mind. And with Suzanne, it makes me wonder, how does one vanish? And just the bike was sitting there. A lot of the details of this case with Suzanne Morphew really reminds me a lot of the Missing 411 documentary about aliens, because what really struck out to me is that it seemed like her bike, her personal item, was staged and kind of left for somebody to find it. And during this Missing 411, it was the exact same things. A really older man was actually out hunting with his buddies. They did it all the time. His shoes were left almost staged in a spot that was already looked over. So I just really highly recommend watching this documentary if you have a nice open mind and you're not going to be judgmental about it. I feel like at this point, 2020 is so crazy, anything's possible. But let's get into his statement and his interview. He spoke with Fox 21. He says that it's the most devastating thing that has ever happened to him. He says that there's nothing that he's hid, and that he's given 30 hours of testimony to the FBI and to law enforcement. He said, I've answered every question, every single question. And in the interview, he does admit to an inconsistency, and he basically says, I didn't know the time because I did something mechanical to my Bobcat, which makes me assume that it broke and he had to work on it and fix it. I will say, if something traumatic happened to me, so as you guys know, my daughter Lily passed in the hospital when she was 3. If I had to go back to that day, when that happened, and try to recall timelines, I wouldn't be able to. It's such a blur, especially like him finding out my wife has vanished. He's worried, he's probably shaken up, and he's got so much on his mind, his adrenaline's running. I'm sure it's hard to recount a lot of time. He says, and I quote, I was confused and I just found out my wife was missing, and I was a little bit not right in my mind when they were asking me these questions. But I did the best I could and I answered everything. I never once declined any interview. And he also, which this is pretty interesting to me, and I wouldn't put it past him, because police and law enforcement, when they mess up in these type of cases, they try to hide their tracks. It's happened many times before. I wouldn't doubt any of this to be true. The sheriff department screwed this whole thing up from the beginning, and now they are trying to cover it up and blame it on me, he stated. My buddy was right there after that, and he said that they completely destroyed the evidence, and he tried to stop them, but they wouldn't listen to him and said, quote unquote, this is not CSI. He says, I'm afraid of what is out there. People don't know the truth, so they're going to think what they want to think. And I do agree with that. Some people get things stuck in their head and they don't want to be open-minded to what it could possibly be if things change. He also says, Suzanne and I have been in love since 1988 and she's the love of my life, and I will continue to search for her every day, and I will until I find her. I promise, and I promised my girls that. Suzanne trusted the Lord, and if one person got saved from this, she would think it was worth it. And we are just a godly, loving, caring family, and this is just a tragedy. That stuck out to me. I don't really know what that means. I'm not super religious. Maybe someone in the comments can let me know what they think about that statement. What kind of stuck out to me was Suzanne trusted the Lord, and if one person got saved from this, she would think it was worth it. Saved from what? A kidnapping? Something with aliens? Don't know. That was like the only fishy skeptical thing where I was like, Barry, what are you trying to say? You know what I mean? That's pretty much it. I will leave the link to his interview below. Let me know what you guys think. I love you guys so much. I'll make sure to keep you updated when I hear anything else, and I'll see you soon. Bye.